The U.S. struck Iran for a second consecutive day on Monday, drawing Iran in retaliation against U.S. allies across the Gulf. The escalation comes as Washington and Tehran remain locked in a standoff over the strategic Strait of Hormuz. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps have declared the waterway closed. The U.S. military, however, insists shipping is flowing and says Iran does not control the strait. Iranian attacks on shipping in the Strait of Hormuz earlier this week triggered the latest round of fighting, along with sharply escalating rhetoric. The U.S. military says its campaign is aimed at degrading Iran's ability to target civilian mariners and commercial shipping. U.S. Central Command has targeted Iranian air defense systems, coastal radar sites, missile and drone capabilities, as well as fast attack boats. On Monday, the U.S. military introduced a new element to the campaign called one-way attack sea drones, were used for the first time alongside fighter aircraft, naval vessels and one-way attack aerial drones. Tehran blames the U.S. strikes for the return of instability, saying they have undermined all efforts to restore peace in that region. Iran has responded by targeting U.S. military facilities and bases in Jordan, Bahrain and Kuwait. Iran's IRGC also claimed responsibility for a rare strike on Oman. The attack came just hours after Oman hosted Iran's foreign minister for talks on the future of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says the talks produced no breakthrough, blaming U.S. pressure on Oman. Tehran has been pushing for a joint system with Oman to impose fees on shipping transiting the strait. The U.S. says its strikes are designed to weaken Iran's grip on the waterway, but the outcome remains uncertain. Rather than relying on a conventional naval blockade, Iran employs a low-cost, decentralized strategy that includes mobile shore-to-ship missiles, fast attack boats, sea mines, electronic warfare, and attacks on nearby oil infrastructure or Western assets in Gulf states to raise the cost of conflict. The bigger challenge may be confidence. Even if the U.S. military deploys and destroys significant Iranian capabilities and insists the strait remains open, commercial shipping companies may still refuse to transit through the waterway. For Iran, control of the Strait of Hormuz has become its most powerful leverage. An advisor to Iran's supreme leader said on Sunday that control of the strait was more valuable than dozens of atomic bombs. Tehran believes control of Hormuz could determine whether the conflict ends in a negotiated settlement or a decisive defeat. We had earlier spoken to Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Mordechai Kedar. He's a former senior IDF military intelligence officer, an Israeli scholar of Arabic culture, and a lecturer at the Bar Ilan University.
At some point, it will work because the Iranian nation and the Iranian regime are not suicidal. They want to survive. They want to thrive. They want to continue to control everything in Iran, and especially to continue to kill their own citizens who do not want them, as we saw last January. Therefore, at some point, they will come to the breaking point beyond which they cannot survive. We have not yet reached that point, and therefore, if the American army will increase its hits on the Iranian regime, not only the oil facilities, also the people of the regime, as we did in the 28th of February, when we targeted the leadership. This is what should be targeted, maybe in order to change the leadership to other people who might be more normal and less ideologic or less jihadist as they are.